Hello, everyone. Just wait for a couple minutes for everyone else to show up. We're expecting a couple of people today, and we're really excited about today's presentation. Stick around. We'll start at about 1:05. Change that so we can see each other a little bit. And just waiting for a couple more folks to show up, and we're going to get started in just a few more minutes. All right. Well, I think we've got everyone here. It's great. So, anyway, happy Thursday. Today's May 23rd, and we're going to do our cybersecurity briefing for this week. My name is Peter Zenzian, and I'm the president of ZZ Servers. It's my pleasure to share this information with you, and I'm so excited to cover some of it, but I want to make sure you know we're only going to take about 15 minutes, and we're going to cover quite a bit of things here on what we need to do to protect our businesses and know what cyber problems are going on these days. So what we're going to do is covering an overview of what's really going on in the cybersecurity landscape and what does the risk or the cyber risk actually impact? What does it cost to you as a do and what can you actually control and how can you leverage your growth? All real simple things, but put together, there's a lot of moving parts. So how do we take everything we're learning, everything that's going on in the industry, and the cybersecurity landscape and use it to actually grow our company? So, just a little bit about us. We're the leading cybersecurity team here in Hampton Roads area, and we're on a mission to help you grow your business and protect what matters most. You can see some of our team members here. We've got myself, Manny, Topher, and the rest of our security team. Now, what is really going on? Let's talk about that a little bit. So, uh, most people think their IT company, their IT team is taking care of them and protecting them. They're right, they are being taken care of, but not necessarily protecting them. So, while IT departments play a crucial role in managing your technology infrastructure, cybersecurity requires specialized skills and knowledge and resources. Now, things have changed and cyber attacks are way up. They're at an all time high. 61% of small and medium sized business owners reported being hit by a cyber attack last year. And the really scary part is 87% were repeat attacks. That means once you're hit once, you're very likely to get hit again. It's pretty scary stuff. So, who does it really impact? Well, um, a lot of people. And I'm going to give you a story here of a small, well, maybe not so small, legal firm. They're a firm called Covington and Burling. Now, back in 2020, they had a hack, and a malicious actor came in and stole some information from them. Well, it prompted the FTC to have an investigation and identify whether that unauthorized access violated securities laws. Now, that started with 4 years ago. 4 years. And the case is still stuck in a legal and regulatory quagmire, and there's no end in sight. Now, this is expensive. They're paying legal fees, they're fixing their environment, they're fixing everything, and it's costing them so much money. Now, we often think that this is something big data breach like we've seen it at Home Depot, 8 or 9 years ago, or some other big ones we're seeing in the news. Now, this one is a little different. Only 7 of their customers' records were impacted. Now, this is scary, and its reality of this is we can't sweep it under the rug anymore. We have to be proactive in this. Now, you may already have an IT provider that you work with, and they're probably taking care of your technology. What we're finding is many of them don't have the adequate cybersecurity coverage and training that are needed to protect in today's environment. Now, that means they're still leaving their clients vulnerable, still technically at risk. And recently, the Federal Trade Commission released its latest FTC safeguards, and they noted in their official documentation that there's a big shortage of skilled cybersecurity professionals. It's absolutely critical that we have these conversations. And it brings us here to explains why we're having one in this briefing today. So we know attacks and vulnerabilities and risks are an all-time high. Now, but who does it actually impact? Well, it impacts you as a business owner. It also impacts your customers, your clients, every person, member, and vendor and outsourced agency you may be working with. It goes upstream and downstream to your suppliers, vendors, clients, and customers, as well as every single person in your network. That's a big list. That's a lot of people that are impacted. Now, it's been shown that 58% of businesses that are hacked or breached or compromised actually experience downtime. Now, what does this lead to? Well, a loss in productivity, and it leads to money being lost. Now, that also ends up in a loss of trust as relationships and reputation for your business. So that's a bad thing. Now, in 2021, hackers attacked a law firm called Edel, Tony Murphy and Bach. That's a tough one. Now, it's an attack that they could have prevented had they installed security patches on some of the servers in their office, but they didn't. And the immediate financial repercussion for it was a $200,000 fine. But in addition to that, they had to overhaul their entire cybersecurity measures extensively, included developing information security programs. The firm had to adopt cybersecurity, encryption, and information on its servers, conducting regular risk assessments, and they had to implement data minimization practices. And every one of those costs money. Now, those are things that should have been in place, which is why they had to do them. So we can see that the cost of a data breach extends far beyond the initial fines. What happens if you're breached? If your company is compromised? If you're hit with ransomware and you're experiencing downtime, what does that really mean for you? Well, number one, let's recognize that you're not too small to be hacked. you're just too small to make it to the news. It doesn't matter if you have one employee or 1,000 employees. So don't think this doesn't impact you, because it does. We're talking about your personal and your business reputation damage, regulatory fines, customer distrust, and the cost to recover, if you can recover. Now, then we have to see turnover. Companies we work with have experienced this, have had huge turnover when companies are hit. Now, remember, things have changed. Cybersecurity attacks are way up. So, how can you leverage for growth? Well, I know it seems like doom and gloom, but there is some opportunity here for you. There's a clear trend that shows, and I'll speak of law firms here, but it shows in many organizations that prioritizing cybersecurity positions your business for growth and competitive advantage. And it does it for a lot of reasons. Um, in industries that handle a lot of intellectual property, personal information, confidential business strategies, robust cybersecurity measures have increasingly become a differentiator. Firms that have been public about it and about their cybersecurity investments often use this as a selling point in their marketing and client engagement. So now I hear quite often at this point, Peter, what do I do from here? Well, for one, that's one of the reasons why we're here. This is the first step. I want to be your trusted cybersecurity expert locally here in the Hampton Roads area, and your potential partner who can work with you and your company and your IT department. Now, if you already have a tech team, this is where we actually work in partnership with your team to help protect your organization. We help enhance your operations. We help you protect your intellectual property, and it actually becomes a differentiator for your firm. Whenever you go above and beyond, you are proactive, working as your trust advisor and helping you grow your business through optimized technology and cybersecurity. Now, I want to give 5 simple steps of what you can do to protect your business. Now, these are simple steps anyone can take. And the first one I want to talk about is updating your software. Now, it seems simple, but surprisingly, organizations that don't have managed technology oftentimes have old, non updated software that's vulnerable. So, having a routine process of updating your firewalls, your computers, the software on the computers is very important. That way, we stay ahead of the hackers who will be attacking older technologies. Now, there's a story I heard a long time ago from a CEO to his CFO, and they were dealing with customer employee training. That's the next thing on our list: employee training. And they were having a discussion. The CFO was saying it was too expensive to send the employees out to train. He said, "What if we spend all this money and they use what they've learned and get another job?" The CEO smartly said, "What if we don't train them and they stay?" Educating your employees is probably the single one thing you can do to help protect your business from these cyber attacks. The next thing is moving your data to the cloud. Traditionally, businesses have had servers and email servers and file storage devices in their office. This can lead to a lot of challenging problems. One, if your building burns down, where's your data? Someone can come pick up your storage device and walk off with it. There's a lot of challenges to that. So we move all of our clients' data into cloud storage that specializes in monitoring and cybersecurity. The next thing, number 4, is having a response plan. Now, this is a lot like when you ran a fire drill in school. You knew where to walk out the door. Now, for a business, when something bad happens, when you're hacked, having a response plan gives you the comfort of being able to stop, look at your sheet, and see who you call to help, and the step-by-step process. If you don't have that, it's just you're not going to be able to protect yourself very easily. Now, the final thing on this top 5 things is getting cybersecurity insurance. Insurance has changed because of what cybersecurity has done to the business landscape. Cybersecurity has changed from being a part of your general liability insurance or a rider and now the insurance companies have created separate policies that are individual just for cybersecurity. Now, some of the challenge of that is you need to make sure that you've got both first party and third party coverage, and that you're doing what you told the insurance company you're doing. One of the things all the insurance companies are doing now is they've got 11 to 12-page applications for cybersecurity insurance that you're telling them that you're doing certain measures to protect your technology. They use big words like SIM or um, packet inspection or things like that. And if you don't know what you're filling out on there and you tell them, yes, hey, we do this, and you have a data breach, the first thing they're going to do is see if you did what you said you were going to do, because that's one of the many outs they have from paying you. So those are simple 5 tips you can take care of to help protect your business. Updating your software, educate your employees, move your data to the cloud, have a response plan, and get cybersecurity insurance. I can't stress those 5 enough. Those 5 are what most people miss on um, for protecting their business. So now let's talk about what you actually have control over. And this is going to go into the 5 things we just discussed. The truth is you control all of this. You control everything. Now you can't control what other people do, but you can control the decisions you make in your company. Now, we want to make sure that we're being proactive in mitigating the risk, and we want to make sure that we're making informed decisions about who you're investing as a trusted advisor. So we want to make sure that you're asking the right kinds of questions. So whether it's your current technology team, an alternate team, or just any provider, you want to make sure you're asking the right kinds of questions and that you have a budget set aside for this and that you're really informed and empowered going into the process. Remember, you also have control over the speed at which you move too. Now, um, this was a fairly short presentation today. I'll just leave with a simple recommendation. Um, I always want to work with local businesses, and the first thing I do is try to understand how their environment's put together, to understand what their risks are. And to do that, we perform cyber discovery. And it starts with a simple sit down session where we talk to find out how things are doing and formulate the right kinds of questions you can ask your service providers or your decision makers to make sure that you know you're getting what you need. And I want to make sure your company's protected and that you're on a path for growth. So if you'd like to spend 15 minutes talking to me and about your cybersecurity, just stop by zzservers.com/cyber and book some time on my calendar, and we'll sit and talk. We'll share some of the things you need to think about for protecting your business going forward in the future. Anyway, thank you so much for stopping by and watching this. I'm hoping I'm getting better one day at a time, and we'll see you next week.